Hello, dear friends, all glories to Lakshmi and Dhanvantari. So, this is the second part of Supreme Personal Divination. In the first video, we've been talking about being entitled to know or not, about chance, random chance or not, and how to give divinity a field of possible expression, like tossing a coin, which is a very simple, most simple yes or no answer. But sometimes, as I started to mention in the first video, we have a little bit more complex, most well-known, maybe the set of tarot cards or the I Ching, which in the case of I Ching has 64 possible answers, and in the tarot even a little bit more. So it's very difficult to mix a set of cards and then draw a card without having the mind interfere. Let's say if you were to spread the cards and choose a card by intuition, that would be intuition. There the intuition will come in. And in my type of Supreme Personal Divination, I want to keep that part out. Because if I was to rely on intuition, I could as well use a pendulum or do psychokinesiology or other different systems of retrieving answers, which are all in the domain of the senses and the influence of the mind, which we want to avoid here in this approach, because we want to get a purest possible information from the divine without the interference of our conditioned systems, which of course is another whole discussion. So, coming to the point, I've developed some way of providing best possible result for divination with cards. I want to quickly present here. I'm just taking a deck of cards. So, you may want to mix that. Take a fixed amount of time of mixing the cards and also taking them apart, and there's different ways of that, so you find out about how to do that. But when you want to choose a card from the deck, I want to present you one idea that is working very well for me. So let's suppose this deck was very nicely mixed. Then which card to draw from the deck without having your intuition or your mind interfere. So what I do is I just hold the deck, of course not above my hand, but I'm doing it for the video, and I let it, I keep praying and in the connection with my inner guidance or the Supreme Divine, and then I drop, I let it fall. See, I cannot really check exactly, and that card would be the answer, that which remains on the hand, because you cannot really check which cards are falling, how many are falling. So that will be the Ace of Air. It's a very nice Native American tarot, which I can recommend to anyone, but that's of course in German language. So that's about cards, but I don't usually do the divination with the deck of cards. I'm working with the tarot, no doubt, apart from other divination oracles that I'm working with. There's also other tarots which have like numbers, let's say for example the I Ching. And so what I do is I'm using stones. So let's see if I can make you see that. Okay, there you go, the change of perspective. What you see here is my development of Supreme Personal Divination with a set of stones. So you have one center stone, that is the pinkish stone in my oracle. Could be another one as well, but you will see why I've chosen it that way. The numbers, the colors are designated to numbers. So there's different ways of working with this. And of course the complementaries, in my case, let's say yellow and where's the pink stone? That would be the pink. That would be the lila or violet, like amethyst stone would be the complement. They have also complementary numbers, but that is not necessarily for you to do. First of all, the main technique is take the stones in the hand. So you pose your question, you hold your hands above that box and you drop the stones. Okay, now you get the result. You see which stone is most close to the center stone here. In this case, the black circled stone and the orange one. That is basically your result. In that case, if you look exactly closely, it's the black circled stone, which is representing the number 0. So we have stones, 10 stones plus the circle stone. So you have the numbers 0 to 9 plus the center stone, making 11 stones. So if you want to get, for example, a number of the I Ching, in this case you would have the 0. So you would go to the orange stone here, which would represent in my system the number 7. The 7 as a first number is also not possible because you have 64 only. And here we have the 7 as a second number because 0 represents the first digit, would be a 0, and 7 would be the second digit. So we have the I Ching number 7. So like this you get your result. There's no interference from the consciousness, and the divine has a possible to express itself through the falling stones. And there's also possible to do further examination of where the stones are lying. Yeah, but that is a whole different subject matter, because the squares here in the box, they have numbers according to Vedic cosmology and the planets, etc. But that is not necessary for our discussion here. Here's just we've provided the divine with a field of expression, which is not biased through our conditioned setup. So we pose our question, toss the stones. So if you have, for example, the Oracle of Rama, there you have 3 digits. You have a chapter, a section, and a verse. So you would have to toss the stones 3 times. And again, let's say there was a different number here closest. So that would be the number 9. In the case you have a oracle which requires numbers from 1 to 7, and you would have, as in this case, the golden stone closest to the center stone. The golden stone in my system represents number 9. You would just disregard that one and go to the second close one, which is the red one here. The red one representing number 5 in this system. So the first digit of your divination would be number 5. Then you toss the stones again, and you look for the closest possible number. If you have any questions on divination, please feel free to contact me. And there are some things in the back of my mind which I may address in the future videos on Supreme Personal Divination. May the OM be with you. Aloha.